It's 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock, and Ask Alma Live is back. Hello. Oh my gosh. We've been gone for 2 weeks. Seems like a long time to me because I just need to be with my peoples. You know what I'm saying? I need to be with my people. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know you are logged on. Can I see you? Can I see you? Give me a comment, fire up that chat so we can talk. Y'all been holding it in for 2 weeks, so everybody needs to have a whole lot to say.
Right,
Yes,
right.
yes, yes. Welcome, welcome to Ask Alma. I am Alma, and I'm so glad to see you. Come on in, come on in. I am here this week. We got some questions coming up. Y'all know the drill. This is a fun panel of expert opinions. This is not a doctor's office. These are not doctors. So if you got an issue, call and make an appointment and go get that straightened out. Because really, I've had to do it. Trust me, it's fine. Go ahead and handle your business. Mary Lou, girl, how you doing? There are a couple of things I want to tell you guys. I think we have some newbies here. Hey, Diva. We got some new people. And that is my sister's best friend. My sister's in heaven. Thank you, Annie Green, for watching us this evening. I am so happy that you're with us. So this is how this goes. Again, it's Ask Alma Live. I come in with my panel of friends, and I got some good friends with me tonight, y'all. I got some good friends with me tonight. I got Dee Dee with me. I got Lori with me. I got my main man, the mayor of USA Today, Lee Ivory, with me. And what we're going to do is listen to a couple of questions that have been submitted to Ask Alma, and we all give our opinion and our advice to these wonderful people. Now, I do want to explain the VVR, because I want to clarify that. People who submit questions, we don't use their names and we don't tell you who they are. We use volunteer video readers. Volunteer video readers. Hi, Demi. Good to see you. These people volunteer to read the question. So when you're looking at the question, that person is not the question with the problem. That person, again, is just volunteering to read it. So if you're interested in volunteering for us, let me know. We'd love to have you on board. So let's get started. Bessie, I hope you reached out to Troy because she definitely is on the show tonight. We've got her coming up. And first of all, let's get everybody introduced, the panel for the night. I'd like to introduce Dee Dee, Comedies. Dee, tell the people about yourself a little bit. Come on in. Uh-oh, can she hear me? Dee Dee, can you hear me?
Deidre, can you hear?
Okay, let's go with, oh, there she is. I don't think she can hear us.
Dee Dee, can you hear?
She looking cute though.
I know
She is. And stone-faced.
Right, she might be frozen. Lori, ladies first. Come on in. Tell me who you are and some other really wonderful things about yourself.
Why, hello, everyone. I'm so delighted to be back to share with Ask Alma. I'm Lori Grant. I'm a journalist. I have other interests. I make greeting cards. I'm a voiceover artist. And I'm more than delighted to share with the rest of my good friends tonight, all outstanding journalists. So as Alma says, we are not physicians, but by trade, we do have a lot of experience. We've come up against a lot of stuff and we've spoken with a lot of physicians.
Yes.
Yes, we all stayed at a Holiday Inn last night.
Mr. Lee Ivory, come on in here and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? I had the distinct pleasure of working for many, many years at USA Today and Gannett with these lovely, astute, brilliant young women. And It was an absolute pleasure. And so I'm just here to have a little fun. And I'm a street corner counselor. So
Watch out.
Occupy more than one street corner.
You know
at
what
a
I'm
time.
saying? It's all about the common sense. It's all about common sense.
All about the
Common sense ain't so common after
Ain't
all.
so common.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Shout out to Cyrus Cope, everybody.
Cyrus, hey.
Jackie
Javon,
Blaze. Yeah.
Jackie Blaze,
Mhm.
and Michelle. Michelle, how is your mama? Give your mama a hug from me. I think Gail is on here. Tracy's on here. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
I saw a few names flash up.
Yes, indeed. We are so glad, so glad you're here. We're going to try to get Dee Dee on board one more time before we get started with some conversation. Gail, hey.
Looks like
Tracy.
I needed to turn my camera sideways.
You look good. Let me
No,
see what
you're
you're trying to do.
All right.
Fine.
Okay.
Pat, walk up. You know, I've been waiting for you, Pat. We can get started now. We can't get started until Pat logs on. So now Pat is in the house.
For 35 years, I've called Pat Patricia.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, Patricia.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I never called Pat.
I understand you're about the only one who called.
I know.
Patricia.
We have a special relationship. That's right.
Hey, Dee, can you hear us?
Can you hear
I
us?
can now. I'm
All
back.
Great.
Yay,
All right, we did.
Okay, I don't know what was going on, so I had to move around.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So, Dee, introduce yourself to all the friends who are logging on. There go my sis, Patrice. Thank you, girl.
I'm Dee Comegys. I've known all of these people more than half my life. Met them all at USA Today eons ago. I don't do.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That's scary, isn't it?
I know, right? In fact, I think Lee was the first person I met, and Alma was the second person I met when I showed up at USA Today.
Yeah.
After spending 15 minutes at the bottom of the Roslyn escalator because I couldn't get on it.
Right.
And they have been my people ever since. Alma called me and you came.
Yes, my people. You know what, Lee? I don't know if you remember this, and I know we got to get started, but I'm going to talk about some business here for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember when my first marriage ended, and this is an advice column. So anybody who has an issue with a broken heart and all that, you be okay. Don't even worry about it. But in those moments when you feel like oh, my heart is broken, and I had a son, and I was really worried because I kept reading all these stories in the newsroom about gang members. Remember, Dee? So like, my son gonna grow up and be in a gang. They were like, you don't even know anybody in a gang. I just think you're right. But what I appreciate, Lee, and I think I may have thanked you for this. I don't know, but I want to use this moment to thank you because you and a couple of other brothers, Robert Robertson, oh my goodness, you guys came to me and was like, I don't know what happened to you, but you look a whole lot better. No, they gave it to you straight, right? Girl, I don't know what you did to change some things, but trust me, it's a good change.
That's right.
And the second thing they said to me, which was like, I just had never experienced anything like this. They said, we are here for you and we are here for your son.
Absolutely.
Right.
So look, you don't sit in the dark. You need an electric bill paid. Yeah. We got you.
We got you.
The next thing that we're doing as a group, you don't need a ticket. We got you. Right. And I mean, these co-workers who turned into friends, who turned into, men who really cared about me and my son, just grabbed a hold of me and sat me down and said, you're going to be just fine. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I still think about that to this day. Remarried, Josh is 30, everything is great. Right. But it's like, you have no idea the people who are there for you and who are praying for you when you need it most. And for men, Black men, to come to me that way, was just amazing, and I'm so grateful to you.
Well, you're more than no thanks needed, but you're more than welcome. And You know, we've tried to do that. I know I've tried to do that with all of you.
Yes.
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 With all of you. And, you know,
Yes.
anytime you needed me to whoop somebody, whatever.
Yes, and you did that for me twice too. I'm thankful. Like it was two people who was like brushing up on me, like almost stalking.
Yeah.
And I was halfway teary-eyed and said something to Lee about it. Let's just say I got an apology. And to this day, I don't think either one of those guys will stay in the room that I'm in, even with other people.
He's a keeper. Yeah. You're right. They're great guys. They're great guys.
Yes. They really are a great group of guys.
Well, so are y'all.
Diane, I see you're on board. I just asked about you, girl. Sending you hugs and kisses. Okay. So one thing that we do around here is we talk a little bit about what's happening. Now, y'all know, let me say this before I ask my question. I need y'all to be on your best behavior because, you know, I work in national news and politics. I can't talk about politics on this show.
Right.
To keep my other job, and I need my other job. Y'all hear me?
Right,
It's time for my retirement. Come on now. So,
Gotcha.
So,
Sweet Daddy just lost me.
Sweet Daddy. There you go, Robin. We were just talking about you. I was just talking and singing your praises. So I want to say, you know, how do you guys feel? We've got a new president. We've got a new vice president, but we need to keep it clean. Okay.
I'll let the ladies because they pretty much read what I say every day. So I'm just that much opinionated.
Well, you know, not to. We won't get political. It feels good. I literally just breathed, and it's fascinating. I was a fan of Mr. Biden's when he was vice president, and the new vice president to be a woman, even if she doesn't African American, you know, it's historic either way. And just excited to see what she's going to do. You know, two people who are more than qualified to run the government is just refreshing. It let me take just a big breath the other day. So I'm excited. They've got a lot of work to do. They've got a lot to write. They got to right the ship, but I'm excited.
Yes. Manisha, that's a nice message. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's my friend from Freddie Mac. Money Patel, what's up?
Yes, this is a wonderful break from the COVID nest.
Right.
I do look forward to this hour of friends getting together.
Mhm.
Dee, how do you feel?
I equated the day specifically after the inauguration and how it felt the day after they captured the snipers.
Right.
It felt like back then. It felt like the whole region was being held hostage.
Mhm.
People were afraid and just disgruntled. And how the day after they caught the snipers, it was so many people on the streets, like you couldn't imagine. Like people rushed out to the mall to play soccer and ride bikes and pump gas and all of the things that we had stopped doing because we just weren't comfortable being out. And that's what it felt like to me. The next day, where everyone was just like, you know, there was sun shining, there was, you know, hope spreading. I know that sounds cliche, but you know, it just felt like a good time. And you know, being in the newspaper business, you can tuck away your emotions while you're busy, you know, handling the business of covering news. So you know, watching the events all day, you know, felt like, you know, doing it as a journalist. And then Vice President Harris got out of the car and walked from the limo to the building, and I just cried. I could not control that. Like I couldn't keep it together like I would have if I was in a newsroom, because watching her, and she's not, you know, that much older than me, like watching that experience. And I thought about my mom, who at this point has lived long enough to see an African American president and an African American woman in the White House. So it was pretty emotional for me.
Yeah. You know, I totally agree with what both of you are saying. Especially what Dee is talking about, where we felt like we've been held hostage for 4 years. And you know, I grew up in the Deep South, and I missed segregation by about I was born as segregation was ending, but there was still a palpable cloud over Black folks in the South as I was growing up. You could feel it. People were, brazen. And I got called the N-word. If I didn't get called the N-word every day, I got called the N-word 3 or 4 times a week. And so we would whoop them boys and keep on about our business. You know what I mean? But I don't think America at large really understands just how terrible this situation was for America. We're supposed to be the beacon of democracy in the world. And here we have a lawless president, a lawless and corrupt administration, white supremacists making laws and policy in the White House. That's horrible. That's a horrible. It was Hitler-esque. And a lot of people try to use that analogy a lot, and sometimes it gets to be cliche, but it really is and was Hitler-esque. This is how it started.
How was the inauguration, Mr. Ivory?
Oh, that was great. That was great. It scared me to death when they got out the car, because I was like, please hurry up, and go on into the White House and stop messing around. And Joe went over and dapped up
the weatherman.
Yeah. Al Roker. Like, don't do that. But I felt the same way when Obama and Biden were elected. And they were walking down the street, and I was like, please get them inside. Please get them inside. So anyway, we're happy day. Oh, happy day.
Happy day. Yes. Oh, happy day. We got a lot of work to do.
But we're headed in the right direction.
And like I said, you guys, I would not have wanted to not mention the fact that we have a new president. Either before,
real quickly. Real quick. I just wanted to give a shout out to the Bryant family. Hearts and prayers are with them on the anniversary of Kobe and Gigi and the 7 others who perished in that crash. It's amazing that it's been a year. It's been a long, hard year. Yeah. But we're still praying for them, and it's something we'll never forget. So
that's very, very sad. Very, very sad.
Robert, it's my sweet move, Alma.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert.
It really was. You learned something. That's right.
Okay, you guys, we are ready for our first video reader. Her name is Troy, and she attends North Carolina A&T. Thank you so much, Troy, for reading a question on this week's Ask Alma. Thank you. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Troy, and I go to the illustrious North Carolina A&T State University, and I'm a sophomore. And I'm going to be reading an Ask Alma question. Dear Alma, I'm a divorced mom with an 8-year-old son. I've lost 100 pounds and I feel like $1 million. My confidence is better than ever and I look good. Because of COVID, I had to cut back on my dating. I recently started online dating and I'd have to say I'm having a great time. I take the necessary precautions and I never meet a man at my house. Recently, my sister backed out after she told me she would babysit my son while I met a guy for a short date. It was too late to cancel, so I took my son with me. My ex-husband is furious and said that I'm an unfit mother. I think he's jealous of the weight I've lost and how I look. We have been fighting for weeks. I don't think I was wrong. What do you think? Hi,
Girl, let me first say, well, I'm going to do the recap, y'all, panel. Okay. Our friend, whoever, we ain't going to mention no names, but whoever this woman is has lost 100 pounds. Kudos to you, girl, because that's a big deal to lose 100 pounds. Very proud of you on that. She has started online dating. She's enjoying it. She's enjoying herself. Divorced mom, lost 100 pounds, online dating. So her babysitter, her sister, backed out and could not watch her 8-year-old son. He's 8 years old. So she took him on the mini date with her, with the new guy that she met online. Her ex-husband is furious and has giving his opinion of her being an unfit mother. And she says she thinks he's just jealous of the weight that she lost and how good she looks now. And she wants to know what I think. What do y'all think?
Well,
Dee, you
I'll
go
let
first.
y'all start first. Let's go first.
I was dating when my son was 8 years old, and there were two rules for me. One was my son don't date. So if we can't work it out where he is, taken care of in some environment, then we just can't work it out. It is never too late to cancel when you have a child. So that part, I get the looking fat. Look, I looked bad. I looked fabulous. I get all of that. I'm not sure even online dating would be the only kind of dating I would be doing in COVID. I would not be meeting strangers out in places anyway. But absolutely under no circumstances would I have taken my son on a date, even with, even after 6 or 7 months, people didn't know who my son was. So he most certainly would not be going on a quick date with a stranger in COVID on school night. That's just to me unacceptable.
Lori, what do you think?
I want to send sis kudos for losing 100 pounds during COVID. The rest of us are putting on 100 pounds. So you go, girl.
Right.
That said, that same sort of determination should have steered her away from taking her son to meet a stranger. And the father, I think, has the right to be upset. I don't know how he acted or performed, but certainly you could see the danger really for both of them. She thinks he's hating, but because you're not together doesn't mean he doesn't care for her. And as the primary caregiver or the custodian of their son, something happened to her, it just has implication for everybody. And so I think what she has to stare in the face is, you took your son to meet a stranger, and it was your date. As Dee said, the son wasn't dating. This was your date. And I don't know how much consideration was put in, to the son going to meet mommy's friend. So
well, Esther asked why couldn't the father keep the son?
There is that. If they're still in the same city,
that could have been an option.
There you go.
Yeah, provided they're in the same city. But right. I love the way Dee posted it a minute ago, as in it is not too late to just cancel. Won't work out. I don't have a sitter.
Yeah. I remember when I was dating, I remember this one guy that I kind of liked. We had gone out quite a bit, and he was over and he was like, "Where's your son?" I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Because you always say you have a son. I see he has a room, but I've never seen him." I was like, "You're not dating him. You're dating me. So you really don't need to like, right.
Exactly.
Y'all don't need to be friends. I don't even know if we good friends yet." So,
right.
But yeah. Lee, what do you think?
Well, first of all, he just, kudos to the sister for losing the weight. But
absolutely,
my man he's overreacting about the unfit mother thing. I mean, that's just emotion getting in the place right there. But I mean, the first thing is, ain't none of y'all got no business dating during a pandemic.
Okay? I don't know, but if you live by yourself or if you're alone,
stay by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can, like one of the sisters here said, get on FaceTime and you gotta do what you gotta do.
Have a Zoom date.
Country. Yeah, have a Zoom date or a FaceTime date. But even if you are gonna do that and everything fell through, like you said, you don't date children, you date the parents. So what's wrong with Netflix and a movie? And if you want to involve your son, you gotta get a big bowl of popcorn, but keep your butt home. Hopefully you're really not coming together anyway. I mean, it's just not, it makes my skin crawl to think about her hooking up with a stranger and she has a child.
Yeah.
In the middle of a pandemic. So,
and the real test is, I can't go out with you because, you know, I don't have a sitter, and you insist on having this date anyway, we already have a problem because my son's never going to go away. So
Yeah,
if
right.
you're not, you know, I would have expected him to say, you know what, next time.
Yeah.
You know,
If she we don't even know if she said anything to the guy she was dating.
Right, we
Maybe
don't
she
know.
showed up with the little boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I think we all agree on that. Yeah. So, sweetie pie, again, kudos on your losing weight.
Yep.
We were not laughing at that. But what we were laughing at was, girl, really? You took your son on the date with the guy you don't know? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't.
We care about you. We care about your son. And no.
Right.
So the answer is no, don't do that. I don't think you're an unfit mother. I think your ex-husband is mad and angry.
Yeah.
Which he has every right to be mad and angry that you took your son on the date with you. He's not mad at the fact that you lost 100 pounds. So.
And where are they going? Everything closed anyway.
I think no, you can go. The restaurants are open in Maryland.
Okay, I'm listening. My main man, Dr. Fauci, said don't be going to no restaurant.
I've been wearing 2 masks all along.
Yeah, keep your butt at home. That's what Dr. Fauci said.
I mean, you could go for a walk. You could do a lot of things. You just shouldn't do it with a child. I mean, the person is a stranger. This is not someone your friend introduced you to. So if something goes kind of sideways, you can call the friend and say, you know, what's your name and what's his name and number and where does he live? This is a stranger.
All right, Laura, you're way too far. The girl getting kidnapped now.
Right.
That's a possibility, though.
It's
a possibility.
Exactly.
Yes. I do think that, Lee, with online dating, honestly, I think.
Oh, I know.
So you are setting yourself up to be possibly kidnapped.
Online dating really isn't different than you go, 10 years ago or 20 years ago, walking into a bar and meeting someone. At least the online dating, you had the opportunity to perhaps learn more about that person.
No, I think you see crazy better in person. You might not see crazy on video.
I used to think that.
Although I'm gonna tell you something.
You have something to tell us, dude?
I used to think you can see crazy in person.
And the other thing that I like the one thing that I do like about online dating is you can talk and see if they can type a full sentence. Because that would technically be a requirement for me. If you can't type a full sentence that's, correct and the period and comma are where they should be, then we probably wouldn't meet up for a date. That's just me.
And since we own that, just for the record, this is totally off the subject. Is sorry for your loss, not loss.
Stop.
Can I just get that in? And please stop asking people.
Alma,
it's
man.
Okay.
We each one teach one. I'm right there with you, Lee. Like. And Patrice said you definitely will see crazy in text, though. Yeah, you
really will. Yeah, and this generation, you just can't tell. This
cuckoo for cocoa puff. Go ahead, Kim.
Right, Jack. Go ahead.
That's my favorite saying. It's a balance like anything, and when you're not, you really have to pay attention to the code. If I may give you one example, I said to my cousin that there was a guy who said he worked at the prison, and that's why blah 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 blah. And she was like, "No, he's an inmate."
He wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Right.
Then he does.
And she started explaining for the code words.
Yeah,
but she works in law enforcement.
Semantics. He worked at the prison.
he does work.
She started explaining some of the code words, and she was like, "Oh no, he is not an employee. He is a resident."
Hey, but he's saving
his money, right? Right.
What?
He invested in ramen noodles.
Right. Exactly.
Yellow bag.
My cousin in St. Louis said she went out with a guy one time, and they were driving to whatever destination, and my man says, "You know what? Instead of going to the restaurant, why don't we just go to the hardware store?" And she was like, the hardware store? He said, yep. So we can go pick up the tools to start building our relationship. She told him, let me out the car right now. Right here. I don't care where we are. Yeah. Pick up the tools and start building our relationship.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You're gonna have to buy the book if you want to hear all that.
You know what I'm saying?
Denise said her first date showed up without his teeth.
That's
because
it.
he couldn't
That
eat.
was it. There was nowhere to go. So sorry.
No teeth on the first day?
Can't work.
I have a couple of friends who said that there seems to be this trend of people online that don't have teeth.
No teeth. Me too. I was getting ready to hope, because you know what? That's an ask Alma question for next week. We ain't gonna talk about it this week. It's primed and ready for next week.
Okay. We should move on then.
Right.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Joan Murphy told me she misses windows. We used to go down to that was me and Dee's hangout. We go down to windows all the time.
Wow.
Look at Sweet Daddy talking about that was a smooth line.
It was smooth. I liked it. Let's go to the hardware store. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Y'all ready for question number 2? Diane is reading question number 2. Diane from Florida.
Oh,
thank you so much, Diane. I love you, love you. Yes.
Dee
there
Harris.
it is.
Good evening. I'm Diane Harris from Orlando, Florida. I'm a volunteer video reader for Ask Alma. I've got a question for Alma. Dear Alma, my brother-in-law has been unfaithful to his wife for years. I think the entire time they've been married. Everybody knows and just says that's just how he is. I'm sure his wife knows too, but she's never asked me anything. I told brother-in-law if she ever did ask me, I was going to tell everything I know. Well, she did ask. And I told her everything. When she confronted her husband, she told him that I told her. That kind of caught me off guard. So he later confronted me and asked if I told on him, and I didn't know what to do. So I said no. Well, later, I guess he said something to my husband, and my husband confirmed that I did tell on him. Now I'm not sure what to do. I didn't want to be in the middle of this mess, but here we are. Now we don't have the same type of relationship anymore with their family. They don't deal with us anymore. Well, I should say they don't deal with me. My husband says it's because I snitched. I say he snitched. He shouldn't have told his brother-in-law anything. He should have been committed to me and had my back. Right? What say you, Alma?
Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Okay, so here's a quick recap. There's a woman and her brother-in-law was unfaithful to his wife, has been all along. Everybody in the family knows. The wife, they thought, didn't know. Something went down. The wife called her. She told, yeah, he is.
But she said she was going. She told him.
She
right.
told him.
Yes, she had always said, if she ever comes to me, I'm going to tell her what happened.
Yeah.
So she told, and then when he confronted her about it, she said, no, she didn't tell. And then her husband clarified and said, yes, she did. So she's mad because she feels like her husband didn't have her back, and he should have been committed to her and just said no and stayed out of it. So what y'all think? Because I know what I think, and I can't wait to say what I think. But I
She told him. She told him up front. I'm gonna tell it. You know, if she asks me, I'm gonna tell it. You know,
but she lost her nerve when she had the nerve to tell, like she said she would, but when the brother-in-law confronted her about it, she lost the nerve to say, yeah, I told it. So now her husband says she did what she said she was going to do.
Right.
I don't know why she's mad with her husband. I don't know why she, the husband had the courage that she couldn't follow through on. And did he know she didn't own, she didn't own up to it? I don't know. I don't know why she's mad at her husband.
Right. But sometimes, like my mom said, some people like to carry tails.
Yeah.
Now, if you one of those people, because for me to even say, if they come to me, I'm going to tell the truth, means you're just sitting there waiting.
Mm-hmm.
You just wait. You got a whole bucket full of mess that you ready to pour out. You praying at night. Lord, forgive me for my sins and send Ralph's wife over here so I can tell her.
So I can tell her. Exactly. When you just really should leave, you should be not in that. Right.
Exactly. That's right. So, hey, Lee, read that from your friend.
Okay, back in the day, people they just know each other.
That's on the last question.
No, he's on the last question.
Basically,
okay.
like we were saying, it's probably just due to online dating,
right? Online and that,
yeah. But
so to Diane, our VVR reader, her question. I think sometimes you can prepare yourself if you believe that something is wrong. And you want to tell the person, like adultery. Every woman thinks adultery is wrong unless she's the woman who's messing around with the husband. So she wanted to tell the wife what was going on with her husband. I think what she wasn't ready for was for him to come back to her and say, hey, look what you did. Because really, if you carry that tail or if you carry those tails, you're going to be the person that other person is going to come back to, maybe what he did, to say, hey, what's up? What you doing?
Mind your business.
Number one, mind your business. Because number one is, why did you do it? Why did you want to be the one who did it? Of all people to do it? Why would, because I think anytime there's something like that happens, you can basically say, go ask your husband.
Yeah.
Why you asking me? Go ask your wife. Why you asking me? Jay, what you think?
If everybody knows, everybody knows. And he could have asked his own brother, because I'm assuming that the brothers are their brothers married to these two women.
Right.
And if his wife knew, then he knew his brother knew. And it sounds like he was just counting on everyone keeping his, dirt under the rug, and it didn't. But you're right. Yeah. I would have said, go ask your husband.
Right.
But if she's at the place where she's asking, she knows.
Right. Because that's another thing. Every woman knows. And when I say every woman knows, she knows. She might not know you leaving. She might not know that y'all not going to be together anymore. But if you messing around with somebody else, she knows. Right. A couple of people have said they've just logged on. So what was the question? So the question is, there's a woman who knew about her brother-in-law having affairs. And his wife reached out to her to ask, do you know anything about my husband messing around? And she said, yeah, told everything. Well, then the husband was mad at her, came back over to confront her about it. And she said, I didn't tell him after she didn't told him. Because that's the thing. If you're going to tell, then stand up in it, girl.
Yeah.
Stand on it and give him a piece of your mind about what he been doing and how you feel about that too. But anyway, she said no. And then her husband told him, the other husband, that it was her. It was his wife who carried those tails, as my mom used to say. So the question she's asking is that she thinks her husband was wrong for outing her. She feels like he should have had her back and not.
He may not have even known that she lied to the brother, because she's already said if he asked, she asked, I'm going to tell. So I'm sure everybody knew that. So when he went to his brother and said, did your wife tell on me? He probably said, yeah, because
she said she was
going to do it. Yeah, my wife told on you. She told you 6 months ago, a year ago, she was going to tell on you. And you continued on this behavior, and she told, so what? He was probably happy that the wife told, so he wouldn't have to tell for him.
Or hear about it.
Right.
Because I'm sure he heard about it.
Right. The brother didn't want to snitch, so he was happy that his wife did it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are two people here that let this woman down. And one is her husband. And number two is her sister-in-law. Okay, because she confided in her and told her what she needed to know, which she already knew. And then she threw her under the bus. But
Right.
Yeah.
like we say in the media, the bigger issue is what we say in the media is that this is a false equivalency. Okay, because the bigger issue is he was cheating.
She buried the lead.
Yeah.
Right.
Talk about an inverted pyramid.
Right.
He was cheating.
was
Why
cheating.
everybody mad at her for telling the truth?
And she mad at
It's
the
like
husband.
nobody said a word about
Right.
what's this consequence.
Right.
What was happening? It was
Everybody
why
ain't
you
talking
tell
to
him?
her.
Why you tell him I said so?
Yeah.
And been happening for
Everybody
years.
ain't talking to her. Whatever, man. You know, come
Yeah.
on now. You know, leave me
Lori,
alone.
what'd you say?
No, no.
Again, it's
No, I
just
was listening to
for the
Lee. I
wife
was
to
telling
tell.
Lori. I was asking Lori to repeat. What'd she say?
No. I was just co-signing with Lee and Dee that the focus is in the wrong place. She's on my husband didn't back me,
Right.
and you know, the lesson really for all of us is so you know it. So what? What do you get out of telling it? And
Right.
look
Right.
at the broader picture. If I tell it, what impact does this now have? These are not detached parties. If these are detached parties, you really don't care. You know it, you testify to it, I swear to it. But you already know this is husband and wife, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, sister-in-law. You know this fracture could occur within a family. So then you have to weigh, because I know it, do I tell it? Or if the sister-in-law steps to you, you have to sort of form this other agreement. I'll never co-sign that I told you this, right? So it's either go ask your husband, which is what it should be, so you stay out of it.
Right.
But if you and the sister-in-law are really tight, and you might say, well, you know what? I didn't see it, but I heard about it, right? But you can't go and tell somebody I
Spill
said
it all.
yeah, exactly. So we gotta weigh, you know, with any situation, we ought to be able to weigh what damage. Lee talked about the bigger picture. Well,
Right.
the bigger picture when you're with family really is what damage am I going to do, and that's important too. Do I wound someone just because I know something and I can tell it? Now we done sat on some secrets when they're our own.
Right.
So you know, we have to then, as particularly with family, really come to that place where we say, well, what am I going to get out of telling this? You know, she knows.
So would y'all tell family members?
Well, this is what my friend Money Patel, she just said. Now she turned it around on us. She said, "Now, would any of us dime out a friend? Would we dime out a friend if we
No.
knew?" What's up, Polar Bear, Burrow Penny?
Ms. Mattel, let me tell you straight, I'm not telling anybody about their husband, because you know why? Unless they see it, they don't believe you anyway. So I mean, if you're trying to get rid of a friend, you can, and then you don't have to worry about her calling or coming around anymore. But a lot of times, from what I can see, and I mean, I know some and you know, don't text me or email me after the show, because I'm still not going to tell you that your husband messing around, because don't you know?
Right. If you're asking me, you know, yeah.
Right. If everybody else know, don't you know? Really?
Yeah.
Like you might not, you know, when he is not home and when he's not answering the phone or doesn't respond to your text. Do we have to go on? Like the other thing too with most women, I don't know about all, but when your stomach feel funny,
Whatever.
girl, that's all I'm saying.
I just saw a funny video on Twitter. This dude, him and this girl were walking down the street, and homeboy got dizzy and passed out. He was out, and she picked up his phone. I guess she was gonna dial 911. Homeboy woke up out of his coma and snatched the phone. He put it in his pocket and then fell back out.
That's right, Sharon. We always know. That's right. Sharon said we always know. And you know what? Now, there are a few who are very, very slick, I think, who could get away with it a little bit. But most men are not that smart. Lee, you know that.
Yeah,
they don't even.
Now, I know I'm outnumbered.
You know.
Now, there ain't nothing more insidious than a slick woman.
Oh, don't just because she's smarter.
You can keep a woman in the house
smarter.
23 and a half hours a day.
And that 30 minutes, you'll never know. She'll never in your face and say, it wasn't me, baby. I remember my cousin Dina. This was so funny. We had a book club meeting. We were talking about husbands messing around. And we were laughing because she was like, if you catch him butt naked, half stroke.
Right.
And he says, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. 20 minutes in, you go, well, maybe it wasn't. Because women just do that.
If you didn't touch me and I didn't talk to you, it wasn't me.
Why do we do that? You done seen him naked with the mole on his left thigh. After he has lied, you have the audacity to say, oh maybe it wasn't him. Okay.
Here's the funny thing about that.
We gotta hurry up and bring in this last question. That's Reg. Our VVR reader is Leah, my niece. And I thank you so much, Leah, for reading this question for us. Hit it.
Hey guys, this is Leah Farmer, and I'll be your VVR for tonight's Ask Alma question. Here we go. Dear Alma, one of the moms of my 10-year-old daughter's friend has confided in me that the husband has been physically and verbally abusive to her several times. And unfortunately, like many of us do, we stay for the kids. They are now separated, and my daughter's friend has invited her to her birthday party, which is at the dad's house. The husband has been polite to me. He's been polite to my child, but I'm uncomfortable with the situation, particularly because I have been in an abusive relationship myself and was with a person who was nice to people on the outside. Planning on telling my daughter that she can't go, but not giving her the reason why. I've pointed mom into some counseling, domestic violence resources, hoping this can help heal her. Alma, what do you think I should do?
Girl, you look so cute. Anyway,
that's an easy one.
What was Leah in the library?
You know what? Leah she owns a daycare center, and that's the principal's office.
So it must have been nap time. Okay.
And Mason did the video. Mason, I think, is 9. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
So, and yes, anybody who is wanting to be a VVR, you can do it on your phone. I'm happy to walk you through it. It's wonderful. It's easy. All y'all cuteness out there need to get in touch with me. So y'all question. I need men and women.
That's right.
Recap the question. So the woman, she has a friend who is being verbally and physically abused by her husband, but nobody knows because the husband is so sweet and nice and kind to everybody outside. They have a 10-year-old daughter, and this woman, her daughter is friends with the daughter. There's a birthday party coming up, and of course they invited the little girl. So she isn't sure that she wants to send her daughter over, although the couple is separated now, because she knows details about this husband and how he is behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. So I know what I think about this, but what do you think about this? Lori, let's start with you.
Well, she also said that she had been in an abusive relationship herself. So she's projecting that situation in this one where there should be no projection. This is a kids' party, and the 2 children are friends. So Let the little girls go have a party, do Ring Around the Roses if that's what kids still do. She's not invited to the party. She can drop a little girl off, pick the little girl back up. And it's very similar to the previous question where you're taking a behavior from someone else and making decisions based on that, not on the fact that this is a birthday party for children and these two little girls going to share and have a good time. She's really just projecting her matter onto the situation.
I think that I would this is another case of having children in adult situations, and it happens too frequently. I would take her. I would go with her, and I would stay at the birthday party. I would not drop her off, because I would still need to know what's happening in that environment. I might even offer to pass out a hot dog or something under some guise that I really need to be there. But I wouldn't drop my daughter off, but I would not forbid her from going because, like Lori said, this is a relationship that the children have, and they should be able to have that without adult problems.
Mm-hmm.
Lee?
I think Dee has a great compromise there, that the mom should go with the daughter. Just to make sure there's no foolishness there, and that there's a chaperone there. But I think that one thing that we as Black folks, we don't do enough is we don't police our own community enough. I think we let a lot of things slide, in the name of friendship, or I don't want to get involved and that sort of thing, and things continue. And I think that if she's a real friend of this woman, she needs to tell her, listen, I'm helping you. I'm giving you as many resources as I know that I can tap into to help you. But at the end of the day, you're the one who has to make this decision. And if you continue to stay in something like this, you and I can no longer be friends. So you can't keep rewarding bad behavior by, staying around and just kind of ignoring it. But
if she's confided in you, Lee, and you offer those resources, if you cut off the friendship based on her decisions, where does that leave her?
I'm saying all you can do is what you can do. You know what I mean? And if this is gone on for a period of time, and you've exhausted. You're emotionally exhausted trying to help this woman, trying to get her to see the light, and she won't do it. I don't. Onyx. I'm not trying to say isolate the victim, but I'm saying at some point, our own actions have to have some consequences. You know what I mean?
Well, no. They're no longer the wife and the husband are no longer together.
That was the question.
But they're only separated. They're not divorced. They're separated.
Well, same thing. Well, the same thing. They're not together. If I'm separated, I'm not together.
Yeah,
and so this
you ain't divorced. You ain't divorced either.
Well, but the woman needs a friend. You don't.
She needs a
why
friend.
In the world?
I'm not. You read me wrong. You're taking it too far.
I'm taking you by what you said. You said police the community and cut her off.
I'm not saying don't.
Yes, you did, Lee. You said that we can't be her friend.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying this cannot go on in perpetuity. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but she has no control over that. As her friend, she has no control over that. All right, it's very similar to the last one. These are two grown folks who can't seem to pull it together. Meanwhile, the little girl and the other little girl want to have a party.
Right.
So let them go have a party.
I'm cool. I think Dee had the perfect solution for that.
See, I think you can drop your child off because number one, people like that are nice in front of people, and it's gonna be a whole lot of people at a birthday party. So they're gonna be sweet as all get out, and the best daggone daddy that you could ever see. Yeah. So I mean, I get it to watch, but really you're watching because you know about what he does in behind closed doors.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of you said, I think maybe it was Lori, that you are now adding what has happened to you and what you
No,
are
projecting
expecting to
on her,
happen.
right.
Projecting.
Right.
But I don't think you can. I mean, I don't think you can remove your personal experiences from every equation. Like, I don't think she should necessarily project. Like, I don't think she thinks that man is going to beat her child or mistreat her. But the reality is, I know that he is abusive, and what I don't know is if he's ever been abusive to their daughter. I just know what the wife has told me, but there's no harm in me staying at the birthday party. I mean, I know that at least I know those two kids are not going to be verbally or physically abused in my presence.
Right.
I want her to have her friendship, but I'm not prepared to leave her with this man that I know is abusive.
He's crazy.
So would you guys let your kids spend the night? What if it were a sleepover?
At dad's?
Yeah.
I was funny about that anyway. You know what I mean?
I wasn't allowed to do sleepovers as a child.
Yeah, I mean, we did sleepovers. We did sleepovers, but it was like, I mean, they had to be like first cousins or something, or my mother's best friends or something like that. So, and things are different now. We grew up, there was a different breed of folks, and people are crazy now. People are crazy.
They were crazy back then too, Lee. They just didn't have names for it, but they were crazy.
Yeah, but I think
and our communities were very different. All of my friends lived within 6 blocks of me, so I didn't have to go spend the night at their house.
Everybody we all went to church together. We shopped at the same place.
Right.
It's the same thing. And it's just like the whole education thing. How education used to be. People of our generation knew that education was the way out, and we couldn't get away with stuff the kids get away with now at school.
Oh no.
Because my teachers, man, went to my church.
That's
went to the same grocery store. You know what I mean? It was like I couldn't get away with anything, man. And so things are different nowadays. So
and I think things were different in that. And Dee is a teacher, but my mother believed my teacher. It didn't. Well, one time, I had to prove that this was something that went sideways. Because otherwise, in my house, if the teacher said I did it,
you did it.
Then I did.
They would have exactly. They would side with the adult.
Absolutely.
And the famous line was, well, why is Miss So and So lying on you? You had to you had to prove that they did it, and why the adult would lie on you.
Right.
And so our generation is certainly different in that regard, where you'd be there ready to beat up the teacher because the kid said X. But I think in this instance, this is a man who's out of control with his wife, from what we know, not with his child.
Yeah, he's not a child abuser.
Throwing her a birthday party. And so really, birthday parties are what, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours for a kid. You can do that. And you're not betraying your friend if you do that.
Right.
Plus the friend knows her dad is throwing her a party. So this would have been fine. She's projecting some of her own stuff.
Andy Green just pointed that out. She said he's not guilty of child abuse. It's the adults that had the problems.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, I can't believe our hour is up. It does. It goes by so fast. And I just love it that our friends are on here with us and sharing how they feel and their thoughts about what's happening and the questions. I cannot thank you guys enough. Lee, Ivory, I love you to the moon. Lori, girl, you are my sister. Love you dearly. Dee, girl, we can't even, don't make me cry. So I am so grateful. I am so grateful that you guys are here. Yes, buy the book. Please share this video on your social media. And we can keep talking. We will.
I know we need more time, right?
Exactly. We need more time. We got more questions. We are, from what I hear, on Twitter tonight. We were live
that's
streaming
nice.
on
Yeah,
Twitter.
right.
Oh, nice.
We were live
Congratulations,
streaming
Alma.
on Facebook. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And you guys come back and see us next Tuesday. Come back. We'll be here at 7:00. We need you here because we want to hear what you got to say too. It has been
Alma, real quick though. Just a heartfelt congratulations to you for doing this. How long you been writing the column now?
I have been writing Ask Alma for 7 years.
That's why 7 or 8
For
years.
7 years. Yeah.
That is awesome. Just so proud of you. And
very, very proud of you.
Alma is,
you.
You know, she's a paragon of virtue and just salt of the earth. And
salt of the earth.
If you don't like Alma, something wrong with you.
Something wrong with you.
Something wrong with you. You know?
Thank y'all. Love you.
Love you.
Thanks everybody for logging in. Can't wait to see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.